Welcome back, everybody, to another session of Youth Chat BVI. Today, we're going to be talking about succession planning in the BVI. Sit tight, we'll be right back after a word from our sponsor.
Welcome back to your chat BBA. So Damien told y'all what we'll be talking about today. So Damien, what is your definition of succession planning?
Well, I think succession planning is basically having a safeguard, a spare, or getting people ready to take over office or throne. It's basically stepping up, in a sense.
Okay, so I have this one question. Do you think that the government today is doing a great job on that?
Well, I personally think that the National Democratic Party, as government, is doing a great job because they are putting in place the junior ministers at a time by preparing, basically having one individual molding or shadowing one minister for when he steps down or she steps down to take over the role and continue the duties.
Well, I have to disagree on part of that because to me, they could be doing a better job. They could be looking out for the educational purposes before they start doing other things to the country, like building new beaches or building an airport when all sixth form students don't have a place to have classes.
The thing about the sixth form is I'm not registered as a college student at HSCC, but from what I've seen online, it caused quite some havoc.
It did.
Talking about the security levels and the hour changes and the space. And to me, anybody would feel a certain kind of way because their space is being invaded, in a sense. But at the same time, we are still trying to get in everybody's head that education is a right for children. And they are coming to their year of finishing high school, no matter if it was additional year or a general year included. So I think everybody needs to just look back at the bigger picture and remember it's an education
Yeah.
going for.
Look, I don't have a problem with them coming to the college. Don't get me wrong. They could do them, I do me. Once I get my education, fine be it. I don't really care. They could get the education, but it all comes back to them not doing the right thing. They're looking after people, other people before they look after the locals. They have to understand that the youths today is going to be the BVI's future. So if you don't educate us, how are you expecting the future for us, the BVI, to be bright?
Well, what everybody's saying and what my personal opinion is that the sixth form should have been, well, the whole general idea should have been placed out to the country as a question so that everybody could give. That's why you have a census. When you're generating to see what people in a country, where they live, use that same medium to ask people, do you think we should have a sixth form? Why do you think we should have a sixth form? Should we not have a sixth form? Why not? That was what should have happened before to get some kind of feedback, because now it's being put in place. You have the yes sayers who are all for it. Then you have everybody who's literally saying, let anybody touch my child up the college, I will come and do so and so. So it's kind of dividing people in a way when the main focus should be education.
Yeah, you said that. You said one, you said two, right? I always been back to this point. They say they were talking about sixth form for many years. You heard them talk about it. Why not make preparation for that to happen if you say you're going to implement it this year?
I agree, but at the same time, people are looking towards the government for money. And as he said on previous shows, we can't look to the government for everything. So at the same time,
but
yes,
education is something you're supposed to look to the government for.
Yeah, because
the government is supposed to look after for the young children who are supposed to run them, who are supposed to look after for the BVI. So if you don't change those people, if you don't train those people to be in the section you want, and you're hiring people to do what you could train your people to do, which going to cost less money. Why you not training them? Why you not looking after educational purposes?
You have so many points. First of all, you talk about the training.
Yeah.
I have no idea because I never attended a public school to know if the teachers are trained or not, or people are coming in to facilitate and teach the sixth form if they're qualified. I have no idea. I'll have to ask somebody when school starts. Second of all, getting into the whole facilitating with space. There's always a question about, well, we don't have any money. There's no money here. There's no money.
No, they don't. They have money, but they don't have money for the locals. You have to get it right.
That the money is being not wasted, but used on expatriates, which are people from outside the country.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, give me an example of that.
Yeah, example. What the beach have to do? We have many beaches here in the BVI. We don't need to rebuild our beach. We don't need to, wherever you want to the beach. We have to educate our people. We have to educate our people. Look at the bigger picture. You have money to build a beach or wherever you want to the beach, but not a spare for your 6 farmers. That don't make any type of sense.
Well, Andrew has a point, but while I regain my thoughts, we'll be right back. And we're back. As Andrew was saying, money is being spent on tourism needs, such as building beaches, when it should be going to educational purposes. What I was regaining myself to say is, I think they are building the beach or look to it as a priority because tourism is our main source of income right now. Always has been for a while, previously when it was agriculture. And they're looking towards getting a beach that people could become easily accessible. Remember, the airport is not too far away. When people come in, they want to find the closest beach. That would be the closest beach.
So you sound like them now. You're looking after
I'm trying to figure out.
outsiders than the local. This is what I'm trying to say. Before you start to please outsiders, you have to please the local. This is what I'm trying to say.
It's not always to please, but to benefit everybody. As I was saying, as I wasn't finished just now, the building a beach is one thing. I understand what you're saying, that money could be spent for something else.
Yes.
This is where I learned this today, where a budget comes into play. You have an entire budget, and 1/4 or whatever could go towards the beach, while the rest could be spent on health, education, so on. So we wouldn't know how much money is being spent unless they publish it in the news or whatever it is. But what I'm saying is, what I agree with you is that money should be spent on, first of all, before you, a board doesn't, let me give you an example, a board doesn't take care of somebody else's young after her own, right? So why should our government or our leaders of our country cater to somebody else and not the youth? I understand what you're saying. I understand what you're saying. At the same time, you have to look in. I would love to see a budget. I think there is one, but I'm not going to look for it because I won't understand most of it anyways. But I think that we should probably cater to the needs that are more necessary and urgent rather than creating new projects that we might not need. Yeah?
No, don't get me wrong. We will need them, right? But you have to train your locals. This is my point is. Train your locals. When you train your locals, the money will stay in the territory. That's money circulating. We won't go broke. But if you spend it on outsiders, bring them in and do whatever work, that's money leaving out of the country, which will eventually make us broke.
Not just money, but the whole thing we've all learned in school, I think, brain drain.
Thank you.
When you have qualified people in a country and you don't give the locals employment, you don't give them an opportunity, they leave and carry their services and skills somewhere else.
Exactly, that we might need.
For example, there's probably a girl here who knows how to do some weird thing like artifacts or something, and she goes to the government, looks for a job, and they're like, we don't have a job for you, but you can work in agriculture. She won't work somewhere where she's making less money and can't use her skills. She's going to leave or go back to school, stay somewhere, become a new citizen or somewhere else, and make far more money enjoying her job. We have to look about catering to the skills that are coming back to us, rather than people just leaving and not coming back to the country.
Right, because at the end of the day, she or he will be developing somebody else's country than her own or his own.
I agree.
But as I was reading while we was on a break, that they are spending $7 million on an airline, I won't say no name, that was already here. And that was already here, but they're coming back, but they owe the BVI so much money. Why are they coming back here? Why is the government giving them money to come back here? I don't find the logic in it, because they owe the government a lot of money that can be used for other purposes. Like, why are they coming back?
I haven't read the news for the day. Is it?
It's an old article.
Oh, is it an airline that is a US-based airline, or is it just a Caribbean base?
I mean, it's coming from Miami here, I think, and it's supposed to start in November. No, I'm not too sure, but November.
You're saying that's the one where it would transport, instead of going through St. Thomas, you go from the airport.
Straight here.
And you said $7 million?
Yes, the government gave it $7 million. Let me see, $7 million for over a 5-year period. Now, you know that got me really upset. Because here's an airline that owes the BVI so much money. And you paying them to come back here. What is the logic? Why they can't pay the money they own the BVI? And we can use it for, so to speak, educational purposes. That could help develop our educational system and stuff like that. Why are you giving them $7 million to come back to our territory?
Let's look at perspective again. I was in a seminar today talking about finances and all those stuff that I have no liking for. And a gentleman was basically saying the money you would spend as an individual to go to St. Thomas, pay the boat, tax, shop, boxes, whatever it is, that money could stay in your country.
Thank you.
Rather than going on the boat to St. Thomas and giving the US the money. Whereas, because we in our head see it as cheaper. When it comes out to it, you're spending just $150 to get there. When you get there, you obviously have to eat.
Yeah.
If your family needs more, you spend almost $100. Get into the store, there's taxes.
Yeah.
You don't have taxes here, we're tax free, or the taxes included. So, looking at it, money is everywhere, yes, but we have to try as best as possible to keep it within our country. Now to the $7 million thing, I do agree with the position where it would be an alternative not just to give the US the money, but it will also generate money in this country at our point to where the money can stay in the country, where you can go to Miami and go to other states and other parts of the world rather than going through St. Thomas and not wasting, but using that as a means of travel. While at the same time, you have to look at cost and expense. You can say we'll generate money, yes, but how long will it take you to make back that $7 million?
Right.
So that is a big question about priority,
Right.
I would say, and necessity and budgeting.
So I understand what you are saying and stuff like that. So we would take a quick commercial break because, you know, with all problems, you need solutions. So as youths, we're going to give them solutions for their problem.
All right.
So we will be right back after this commercial break. Welcome back to Youth Chat BVI. So in this last piece, we're going to give solutions to some of the problems that we stated. So Damien, what are some of the solutions that you have for this?
Well, what I was thinking about is that they should invest the money in other things, such as you said, education, health, necessities, and use a budget, the budget that they set as basically a guideline. So if something costs 5 and you're looking to spend 6, do you really need to spend that extra 1? So it's forcing you to cut back. And when you budget, you sometimes you more than most times spend less when you budget. If something costs 5 and I'm being really cheap and I have a budget, I'm going to try to spend less so I have more money there. I think that's what they should do. Also, I think that there's a whole thing where they want to bring US chain restaurants and stuff here. I'm okay for that to improve local businesses and so on. But I have an idea, just an idea. We don't have a major mall. We don't have spaces for that they say, however it is. We have a lot of buildings that can be downsized and move into other buildings and other. How about having somewhere, a shopping complex or somewhere that benefits both the locals and the expatriates? One set of money, confined, make it local if you want to have international US stores in there. But at the same time, a percentage of each store's income must come to the upkeep of the building, and in turn will benefit the country.
Right.
And knowing the youths, us as youth, we like to shop and be modern stuff. If the store has what we want, we will spend money.
We will spend money.
And it's not just the expatriates or people from outside the country, it's us. So I think we could generate money, and that money can go towards education. Then maybe we can build some classrooms.
Right, I agree. I agree with your solutions. They are good solutions. Just to add, make sure when you planning, make sure you plan ahead. Make sure that you know that when you plan, the future is safe for us youths, that we don't have to go through any brokenness or any downfall for your mistake. Make sure that you always have us in mind, because you have to understand that the youth of today is the British Virgin Islands future, and that's all I have to give to them, because you said exactly what I was going to say. So you have tuned into our next episode of Youth Chat BVI, And if you have any comments, any subjects you want us to talk about, hey, even if you want to be a guest on our show, you can contact me at 544-7596 or even email us at youthchatbvi@gmail.com. Thank you for watching.